Okay, so my game is a third-person environment with puzzle elements involved within this. The main sort of goal and idea around this was to create a shader effect that adds an element of everything looking as if it's been hand drawn. So that's why at the minute everything's all white and there's outlines on all of the objects to look as if someone has gone in themselves and drawn those outlines of each object. So when this is when you first load in, and I wanted to um, explain to the player what they need to do and how to do it. So I used a subtitles and some voice lines to portray what they have to do and need to do. So from that, the player then has to go to the library, which is up here, and because I wanted the objects that the player collects, they changed the look and feel of the environment to make it a bit more diverse and unique every time they're playing through it. So I'll head to the library now and then explain why and what I've done there. So this is the doorway to the library. So I wanted the object that appears on the door to be the object that you collect within the level, but I want the player to explore the environment and find it so they have so they can see everything that my shader effect shows them and every unique detailing about this shader. So with the first item to collect, it's a pencil because I wanted each item as well that you find to be an item that is linked in within the sort of hand-drawn type looks and feel. So it's like there's a pencil and then a book. So with this, you walk onto this lift and then it will take you up to the walkway bridge that you see at the beginning that has this windmill type thing on it. So then you find this pencil here and then you just walk into it, and then now you've collected that, the item on the doorway will disappear and then the player can walk through and enter the library um, without any issues. I also wanted this library to be the point at which the player can kind of see it from when they load in, and with the stairs winding up and around, uh, it creates a more interesting route and pathway together. So this is the library, and I wanted the every detail of this to look unique and interesting, which is why I like the indents in the ceiling and the sort of curvature of everything, because I wanted it to continue to look older. Uh, so yeah, and then also within this, I've got some environmental storytelling details with books that are missing on some of the shelves that are then placed around here, so it looks as if someone's taken those and is researching and reading about different journals and novels. So now you take this pencil into this main room, which has two plinths. These are where those objects will appear when you load into the next section of the game. So I move this, and now I can fall into this hole, and then I get transported to the new look and art style that is now pencil drawn. And once again, there'll be a voice line that will play in a bit. So with this, I wanted when you load into the level that you can instantly recognize the same level that you're in previously, but this time with that new look and art style changed. So that's why I kept this central tree there, because I felt like it was a good point when you load in to see instantly, oh, that's the same place that I was earlier, along with all the falling leaves, just allowing it to further show that they are still in the same place that they were before. And I felt like it's a nice central point to have this tree. It just feels like everything is connected around this and branches off from this focal point. Um, as well, I wanted the layout of the environment to be very simple. so there's no confusion in where the player needs to go, and they can instantly recognize where they've been before because they've seen it already. Which is why everything's sort of in straight lines, and it just shows from that point. So now if I head to the library like the Dark Wizard mentioned earlier, then I will collect the next item that I need to for the next art style of the game. So yeah, with it as well, I wanted every run through to feel slightly different with the visual look, but also not so different that they don't recognize the art style that was there previously. So with this one, there is a book on that door. So uh, now I need to go and find this book. So to do this, with the art style changes as well, I wanted uh, it to feel as though the environment is changing around the player through every run through of this development. And then also I wanted to utilize these carts and the leaves falling and other elements like that, like the signs there, to make it feel like it was a habitable um, land that was there before, and then people have just run off or escaped from the environment when the Dark Wizard came and destroyed it all. Hence why there's no one or anyone in the environment. So if I go to this second puzzle over here, there'll be another voice line that will play, so I'll just let that run. So this was the first puzzle, the second puzzle, sorry, and I wanted it to be a cog machine that functions as if it's an actual cog. So for example, if you look at these three cogs here, they're all rotating in the bounds of which a cog would actually function if it was in real life. So then I emulated this and put it on this wall, and then made it so that the three that are empty, you can see, oh, I need to now collect three cogs. So I'll collect these now. These were all placed in environments that I felt I quite liked, like the tree being a focal point again. So they walk up to this tree and then it's underneath the tree, and then they can collect that and take it back to this cog wall and place it on. And once again, it will spin as if a cog is actually functioning on this wall. So I'll collect the next one. These were all placed around so that the player can explore the environment a lot more, rather than just having the pencil be above the door there. You can still go up to that door now as well with the lift right there. You can still go to that area because I wanted it to be a functioning and fluid environment. So now I have this cog. I'll collect the last one and then go back to that wall. So with this one, I want it to feel more like you are exploring everything that you can see. Like you can go within the buildings and see, oh, this is how the pencil shader is affecting the interiors and the designs of everything. So let me just go there quick. I wanted this route as well to also feel sort of convoluted and a bit windy, rather than the rest of the level being all rigid and straightforward. So you have a unique and a different experience than before. So now that I got these two cogs, I then another thing I should mention as well with the puzzles is that I wanted them to slowly develop in difficulty. I didn't want it to just be an instant easy puzzle every time. I wanted the first one to be easier so that the player feels as though they've got a grasp on how the functions work of the game, and then move on from that point further with making it more difficult. Which is why this puzzle, I believe, is a lot more difficult than the other one. And then this rock here shifts and you're allowed to enter the cave. I wanted the camera movement to shake along with the puzzle, with the door shift, so that it feels as if there's weight behind the movement of that door, or rock, I guess. So then, once you enter this cave, I wanted the entrance of it to be fairly long and open out into this bigger environment. So now this book is here. Also, another thing with the book is that right here in front of it, I wanted the plinth that you can see in the library and the door, the picture frame that's in the library to be here, so that you instantly recognize, oh, this is from the object and from the library, then this is the one I need to collect. There are also other little routes, but I blocked them all off because I didn't want it to become too overwhelming and didn't want the player to just get lost in the cave and then not be able to figure out a way back to the village from there. Another thing, I felt like I wanted some more depth when the player emerges from this cave, so I wanted there to be an instant big landmark that they can see and sort of be more surprised at, that they haven't seen it in this way before. And then once again, you can see the tree from the entrance to the cave. So I chose this clock tower as the main sort of focal point that you um, enter from the cave. Another thing is I wanted the environment to have more depth and feel more contracted and small. So I added a lot of buildings around the previous buildings, like um, there, and then all of these ones up here, so that it feels that the scale of the world feels bigger without me having to actually make all of it function as if it's a village. It just looks more realistic. So yeah, there's depth in a lot of the environment and the storytelling here, like this town here and all these buildings up here with the walkways and stuff. So now that I've got this book, I can take it back to the library, and then the final art style will be in place. Another thing with this, I wanted the entrance to the cave to start to the library be very tight and enclosed, so that when they enter the library, it expands out into this bigger environment and it feels nice, and you've got that contrast of it being um, a small enclosed space to that big open area. And then, like I mentioned earlier, here there's the those picture frames that you see instantly in the library in the last one. And I will mention about the library quickly. Um, just that with this art style as well, there's added um, wobbled line effects, because I wanted it to feel more hand-drawn and feel more as if someone's taken the edge off of the harshness and it looks less computerized. Um, Additionally, I wanted you to be able to just explore this library and have some just nice visual styles to it and everything like that. So yeah. So now I've got this, I can take this back here, and what you will notice is that the object that you've collected, the pencil, appears now on this plinth. So then the book will appear on this when you load into the next one. So once again, this then moves, and then I fall down, and then now this is the last art style of the game, where you can just explore everything that you want, and the entire environment in this color mixed in with this pencil effect to it. So there's one more voice line, so I'll just let that play and then I'll explain more. So I would also like to mention that now, once you've got into this section, you just have free roam over everywhere in the village. This is because I felt like I wanted this area, as it's the final one, to be more freeing and more maneuverable for the player, so they can just go wherever they want and however they please, so they can get a perfect look at all the variations of different surfaces that these apply on, like on this curved here with the shadows. Then they can just have free roam of everywhere. They can go back up to this to the library and just explore the library up there in more detail. They can redo all the other puzzles. They can now see the environment that it was once before, originally, now with this pencil and coloured look in mind. And just be a nice ending to the levels with loads of colour and the pencil still there. And then finally, I wanted this to feel a lot more sort of surprising and awful with the look now being fully complete and all the soul returning to the level in terms of the story and everything like that. So yeah, that is my game.